Hello, everyone. No, wait. Hey, yo. I'll make sense in a minute. Thought I'd mix it up because
Yeah.
actually it's my guest's catchphrase. So today's guest is your friendly neighborhood homeboys, Buffa
Yes,
AO
sir.
and the Boombox. Have you got the Boombox with you, by the
Oh
way?
yeah.
It's got
Right
a
here, tattooed on me.
love it, man.
And
Love
it's
it.
it's
But
actually over there, but I'm not gonna get up. I'm
you're
a little
comfortable, man.
tired
No,
right
honestly,
now.
mate, you make yourself as comfortable as you want
I'm
to be.
chilling.
It's cool, man. That's cool. Welcome to What You Call It podcast. I'm your host, GB, by the way, but thank you for coming on. As you've wrestled all
Thanks for
over the
having me.
world, and you're
Yes.
currently in the UK, and I'm UK based, I think it'd be quite fun to get your thoughts on the UK
Okay.
wrestling scene and just your thoughts in overall on Britain as a place.
Man, I love it here. Man, I remember the first time I actually tried to get out here to the
Hmm.
UK was back in 2005 during the 1PW days.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I was sending my demo tape over here, trying to get booked on 1PW and all that. And ever since then, I was like, man, I got to get over there. It
Mm.
never worked out, but I was always planning to come. But once I moved to Japan, I was just set on Japan and
Yeah.
Asia. So I was planning to come here to the UK before COVID hit.
Yeah.
I was scheduled to come. Then COVID hit like the week after.
Ah.
So I couldn't come. Then last February, I was supposed to come, couldn't make it, and now I'm finally here, man.
Yes.
And
Love it.
I'm loving it, man. I love it out here. It's man, it's awesome.
Awesome, man.
It's
It's
awesome.
glad to have you in the
Yeah.
UK, and I'm glad that you're enjoying it as well. Have
Oh
you picked
yeah.
up any slang or any sort of lingo in the UK?
Oh man, I've been using bruv ever since
Yes.
I became a fan of Top Boy.
Oh
Top
yes, mate. I love
Boy
Top Boy.
is
Oh,
my
brilliant
shit.
show.
I was hooked on that when I was
Yeah,
living in China. I got hooked on a lot of series,
yeah,
much like everyone else during
yeah,
COVID,
yeah.
So that was the one I got hooked on. I was like, oh man,
It's
I'm loving
good,
this
isn't it?
show.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, the ending of the last
I
season
won't say
was
too
like,
much, just in case our listeners haven't
yeah,
seen
yeah,
any
yeah,
spoilers.
yeah,
But how it ends,
yeah,
I was like
yeah.
genuinely shocked. Came out of
Ooh,
nowhere, especially like you kind of thought that was going to be it, but then
yeah.
yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere, Kano, and then that's it, man.
Wow, man,
Oh,
that that was crazy,
but
man.
then it
I
just
don't
makes you
know
want to watch. Like,
where it's
I
gonna
want to see.
go.
I want to see season
Yeah,
4. Come on, bring it out.
yeah, yeah. I don't know where they're gonna go from here,
Mm.
but man, it's gonna be good.
Now,
It's
I got
gonna
to
be
give
good.
Drake blessing. I'm not the biggest fan of his music, but I know he was
Yeah,
heavily
me neither. Me
involved in
neither.
bringing it back.
Yeah.
And Netflix, so Drake,
Mm-hmm.
thank you, thank
Yeah,
you. It's
yeah.
all good.
I'll give him a clap for that. I'll give him a clap for that. Nah,
Awesome. I will touch
I
on
rock
about
with
you
I
in
rock with
Asia, by the
Drake.
way,
Drake is cool.
because I
Yeah,
think that'd be quite interesting to speak to you about. Because I think that's really cool that
yeah,
you've actually lived out there and wrestled there as well. But I kind of want to just rewind things a little bit back to the beginning, and I want
okay.
to find out what actually got you into pro wrestling in the first place.
Okay, I started off as a big fan of Van Dam,
Nice.
big fan of Eddie Murphy, man, all the action movies
Hmm.
during the 80s, because I was born in 83. So I got like the best, like the 80s is the best hip hop music, rock
Hmm.
music, movies. So always wanted to be an actor.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I wanted to be an actor. I know about wrestling, but I wasn't a fan
Yeah.
at all. I was into girls, cartoons, toys, comics, and stuff
Oh,
like
was you into
that.
like Transformers and like Thunderbirds, that sort of thing?
Nah, not Transformers. I got
He-Man?
into Thunderbirds after
Not
He
Thunderbirds,
Man,
Thundercats, sorry, that's what I meant.
Thundercats. Yeah, yeah. But there was a Thunderbirds, but that
Yeah.
was like the '90s.
Mm.
But that's going down the rabbit hole. But um, which one? Thundercats? Yeah, I was trying to Thundercats. Yeah, I used to use them as like wrestlers and stuff.
Yeah.
Like once I became a fan, I still had the toys. So when I became a fan of wrestling, I would mix them with the wrestling toys, like the Hasbro figures, and do matches. Yeah,
Man, I
but
used to do that with my brother's toys. If my brother listens, mate,
yeah,
you remember me nicking all your toys, and I'll get them like the Hasbro's and like the Jax figures, and I just take all
yeah,
the toys.
man.
He-Man against like Hulk Hogan, sort of thing.
Hmm.
I mean, obviously, I was
Yeah.
just born at the end of the '80s, but I still sort of
Oh,
had a
okay.
kind of a
Yeah.
'80s childhood in a weird way. Like I'd watch
All right.
Transformers and the
Yeah.
wrestling, but no, that's cool, man. That's cool. When is it that you
Yeah,
kind of
man.
got exposed to wrestling? Like you said that you wasn't a big fan of it first,
Yeah.
but when did you catch
Yeah.
the wrestling bug?
I caught the wrestling bug. Like I knew about it. I would see it here and there.
Hmm.
But at that time, I had an older sister, single parent home. So there was like one TV,
Yeah.
and my sister's older than me. So she had that TV too. So that's probably the reason why I didn't become a fan. But I did know about Jake the Snake and Rick Rude because
Yeah.
it was during their feud.
Yeah.
It was during their
To do
feud
with
because I know
Jake
about
Roberts' wife. Yeah.
yeah, yes. Because I know about the snake Damien. Jake the
Yeah.
Snake had the snake, and Rick Rude used to do the dance the, with their hips. So, like I said, I wanted to be an actor. So when my sister's friends would come over, I would do the dance to them and stuff like that, and make them laugh and stuff. So I knew about it, you know what I mean? But I just wasn't watching it because I couldn't. I really couldn't. But it
Yeah.
wasn't until the 90s, 93. Me and my brother was fans of X-Men. The cartoon was
Mm.
on at the time.
Oh, best theme
And
song ever, by the way.
yes,
Sorry,
mm-hmm.
that's good. That in.
That cartoon was awesome, man.
So good.
And they was playing a rerun, so we was just flicking through the channels and came
Mm.
across wrestling because he wasn't a fan either of pro wrestling. We came across wrestling. We was like, hold up, we know about it. We thought it was corny at first,
Yeah.
like when we was in school and people be talking about it.
Yeah.
Because I had
Yeah.
a teacher, I had like a computer teacher. I had a computer class, and one of the kids will always go woo because the teacher looked like Ric Flair. He had the
Yeah.
long, like blonde hair. So I was like, these kids are corny talking about wrestling. I'm like, I don't even know who Ric Flair is. I just know the name. So when we was flicked through the channels, we came across the wrestling and we
Yeah.
was hooked. It was like a mix of everything, action movies.
Mm.
You know, you got the different characters. You got the guys like jacked up, looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got guys throwing kicks like freaking Van Damme. So we was like, yo, this is it. And
Yeah.
it's a mix of acting as well. So it was like the best of both worlds. We was just hooked since '93.
Nice. Did you have any
So
favorites?
1, 2, 3 Kid.
Nice.
Sean Waltman, X-Pac, X-Pac. Fuck, what was his other names? Lightning Kid,
Uh
Cannonball Kid, Kamikaze Kid. Fuck. Yeah,
the
he was
kid.
at six. Yeah, the kid. He was at six at one
Yeah.
point. His name was X at one point. When he
Man,
was
he had the coolest
XPW.
attire ever, like back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's my guy.
Mm.
That's my guy. X Pac and Two Cold Scorpio, my mentor, one of my mentors. Two Cold
Really? Like
Scorpio.
criminally
Yeah.
underrated. I was saying this to
Oh
Byron
my
Reed,
God.
and he wrestled him. I was just
Yes.
like, two guy Scorpio, such a shame. I mean, Flash Front,
Hmm.
I look back with a smile, but he kind of
Yeah.
deserved, like, not saying the gimmick was awful, but he should have been like
No, I love the
a mid
gimmick. I love
carder.
that
Like
gimmick.
he should have been
Oh
like
yeah.
just below like main event in my opinion.
That
So
that
ahead of his time.
was the plan. That
Yeah.
was the plan. From what he says, from Vince McMahon, that
Mm.
was the plan. He was supposed to be that guy. That's why they put so much effort into his entrance. He had like one of the second longest entrances behind
The
like
theme song was so cool.
Undertaker.
That's in my head.
Yeah, I love the gimmick. The gimmick the gimmick was awesome to me. I love the
Yeah.
outfits. It was awesome, man.
Nah, man, it
But
was
yeah,
so good.
those my guys, man. Those two,
But like, how
man,
was he as a
right
mentor,
there.
by the way? That's so cool. I'm quite jealous now.
Man, it started in I say it was 2000 and maybe 2012.
Hmm.
My brother and I started wrestling for this company called Pro Wrestling Unplugged.
Hmm.
And at the time, Todd Gordon, the original owner of
ECW, yeah.
ECW, yeah, he was booking for PWU.
Hmm.
And Todd Gordon wound up becoming my mentor as well, me and my brother's mentor as well. So he's very like close to Todd Gordon. So he brought Scorpio to PWU. So when Scorpio saw us, he was like, "Oh man, you guys are awesome,"
Mm-hmm.
you know. And Todd Gordon was telling him like, "Look at these guys, help these guys out, whatever they need. These your guys." And he would be on shows with us and give us advice all the time. So he was great, man.
That's cool. For someone that you kind of
He was
watched as a
awesome.
kid on the TV, and to
Yeah,
sort of
man.
have him as a mentor and get that experience as well, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, man. It was so cool. It sucks. I don't see him or speak to him as much, man. We're always missing each other. Like the last time I spoke to him, it was when I was living in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
So I was asking him if he can give me advice on getting sponsors out there.
Yeah.
Like he was like, "Oh man, I'm not there yet." And most of the sponsors I had at the time, they're not in business anymore. But he was
Yeah.
like, "These are a few guys to contact that I know that are still like,
Sort of involved.
in business."
Yeah.
So, and he was like, "You know what?" He's like, "Keep on doing what you're doing." He's like, "Keep on making me proud." Once he said, "Keep on making me proud," I was like,
Much
that's
love, man.
awesome, man.
That's
Like,
so cool.
yeah. Yeah, man. I can't wait to see him again. Like every time I would see him, like
Yeah.
here and there, me and my brother be getting bigger and bigger. He's like, "Oh man." And he'd be hearing about like how we like recently did our like first Japan tour, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh man, that's great." Then once I'm in Japan, he seen I was like making a name for myself and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And that's when he's like, keep on making me proud. So
I
that's
love
like
it,
the
man.
last time I got to speak to him. So
Now, I hope
yeah,
you can
that's
bump
like
into him and it's good to see him. That's wicked, man.
yeah, I'm never like he's in the States now
Yeah.
and I'm not there, man. I have been in the States consistently since 2011.
Really? Oh dear,
Yeah,
over
man.
10 years now. Do you miss it in
Yeah,
a way?
man. Yes, like outside of wrestling, absolutely. I
Yeah.
miss the family, I miss the friends, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I miss New York, the culture, just
There's only so
that
much like Iron
warm
Brew
home
haggis you can
feeling.
eat in Scotland right now.
Yeah. Man, Scotland, man, like Glasgow reminds me of New York, man. It
Really?
reminds me of New York. Yes.
Is that a good
Yeah.
thing?
Oh,
I'm just double checking.
it's a great thing. It's a
I've only
great
been in
thing,
Glasgow
man.
once, but because I've got family in Scotland, like Dundee, so
Yeah.
I've only been there once. And I just was, I don't know, maybe I didn't go there long enough. But Dundee's a
Okay.
lovely, lovely place. It's about an hour away.
Yeah. Man, I can't wait to get there, man.
Mm. But no,
Yeah, man, that'd
that's
be
awesome,
cool.
man. Did you attend any shows, by the way, before you'd actually get into wrestling, like become a professional wrestler?
Oh yeah, for sure. The first ever show I attended was an indie show
Yeah.
called the USA Pro Wrestling. It's pretty big in New York, it's pretty big in the Northeast,
Mm-hmm.
and even like going down south, like towards Florida. They're in Florida now, but it started as a New York company in Long Island.
Yeah.
So I had just had I don't know how I found out about the show. Me and my brother found out about the show. It was gonna be at a college nearby. So we got tickets, we went to the show. Jimmy Snooker was on the show,
Nice.
a few legends, King Kong Bundy,
Five.
and yeah, man.
So
We
I'm a
was
nerd.
like, oh shit. Yeah. Hey, man, I love it. I was at an indie show and like it had to be like 99 maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
99. Yeah. And the crazy thing is like they had it was a tape and like we had public access
Mm-hmm.
in New York City. So the USA Pro was on public access. So the cameras was there and I remember Snooker was coming out to the ring barefoot as he always does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember me and my brother stepping on his feet, on his toes when he's walking by. Yeah, we stepping on his toes while he's walking by. Every time we saw the cameraman recorder, we would jump in front of the camera like, oh, yeah.
Did
Yeah,
he say
like,
anything to you like, brother? It's like
nah. he, he must have been high or something because he knows so the
couldn't
fuck
probably
out them
feel it.
stomps. He no-sold the fuck out them stomps. He was like, like stomping them toes like it was roaches. I was like,
oh, that's
these are
wicked,
crazy
man.
kids,
Like,
man.
they're on Jimmy Snugger's toes. He didn't even feel it. That's quality, man.
Yeah, man.
What inspired you to become a professional wrestler? Like, when did you know that, okay, I actually want to do this? I want to travel across the world. And, you know, as we are speaking now, you're still pretty well into your career and
Yeah.
doing really well for yourself. But what, you know,
Yes.
before it all happened, was there a moment
Yeah.
or did you kind of know sort of as you became a fan more deeper and deeper?
I would have to say when I first saw 1-2-3 Kid.
Yeah.
When I first saw a 1-2-3 Kid match, I was hooked because the first match I ever sat through
Mm-hmm.
was Lex Luger versus one of the core Beckers. And that got me hooked. This is like 93 or 94, something like that. So I was hooked ever since. But when
We
I
can
saw
thank the
1-2-3
Quebecers
Kid,
and
I
Lex
was like,
Luger
wow.
for, I love it.
Yeah. Like these are big guys. So I
Yeah.
was like, all right. But once I saw 1-2-3 Kid, I see his body, I hear his name, I see his face. I'm thinking he's my age.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother think 1-2-3 Kid is our age, and he's wrestling these big guys on TV every week. We're like, what? We could do this.
Mm-hmm.
We could do this. Like, look at him. Like,
Like, he's going
he
toe to
was
toe with them
way
and stuff.
big.
Like,
Yeah, he's way bigger than us at that age. You
mm.
know what I mean? But on TV, compared to the other guys, he looks tiny. You know. So we was like, wow, I think we could do this. Look, he's beating guys.
Mm.
Look, he beat Razor Ramon. This big ass guy. He beat him. We could beat guys too. Like we all freaking our heads are
You
just
know, the funny
crazy.
thing
Like,
is, like 1-2-3 Kid now. Say, like, if he was like never heard of him,
mm-hmm.
but he debuted in wrestling now, he'd be one of the bigger ones
Yeah,
now, which is it's kind of strange, isn't it?
yeah,
How
yeah, yeah, yeah,
wrestling's
yeah.
evolved.
That's that's insane. Yeah,
But like him and
yeah.
Brett and Sean, like, were considered small guys then,
Mm-hmm.
but like they were when I've met them, I was like, these guys are actually quite taller than me, and I'm like 5'9",
Yeah,
10.
yeah. Those are big guys, man. But now it's like, yeah,
Mm.
man, that's crazy. Like I'm a heavyweight, which is like that. I'm a heavyweight naturally
Yeah.
because of my way I step on the scale. You could tell, and you could just look at me and tell. But
Mm.
it's like I'm not one of those like tall heavyweights. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm only 6 feet. I'm nice and compact. You know, but I have size to me, and like seeing how I'm a heavyweight now
Mm-hmm.
compared to when I started, I was just a skinny kid. I was almost too small for the business.
Oh, bloody hell.
It's just crazy to see, man, how it changed so much. Just
I've seen like
from
older
like that.
clips and like how you've sort of transitioned.
Yeah.
One thing I think that gravitated me personally to you as a fan,
Hmm.
I think you have a really cool look, the persona, and just
Yeah.
your entrance and how you wrestle. One thing I
Yeah.
do want to speak to you about is how did you come up with like your persona and your overall look? Like it's just straight away, you look straight away at you. Like you know, no one's gonna turn around.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, they will turn around, but look at you straight away in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it's a mix of so many things, man.
Hmm.
Honestly, it's just me.
Yeah,
It's just me and what's going on in my head. You
but you're
know,
letting it out.
yeah, it's just me being me. It's
Yeah.
me, like it's a mix of where I came from.
Hmm.
It's a mix of things I like, things I love, you know. It's like I say with the overall look, with the pants sagging, that's something I would do back in the 90s,
Yeah.
you know, because at the time, this is before the baggy era in the 2000s.
So you're ahead of your
There was
time and love it.
yeah, the reason why we sagged in junior high school was because jeans were tight. Like
Yeah.
now, fitted jeans are a thing, but at that time, fitted jeans wasn't really a thing. You know, it was, but people would really laugh at you about it. You got to have a little sag to your pants
Gotta get the undies
because
showing.
yeah, because the thing was, if you were able to see someone's socks
Yeah.
under their jeans, they would call them high waters. He's wearing high water jeans. You're not supposed to be able to see your socks.
I love it.
So,
I'm learning some stuff as well, so I'm lingo myself.
so this is why we sagged our jeans, so our jeans can hang over our socks, so we won't get made fun of.
Nice. I didn't know this at all.
That's why I sagged my pants and why
Yeah.
guys of that time sagged their pants. Now, there's another side to it. In prison, they say guys who, want to play around would sag their pants as a way
Yeah,
to
yeah.
show that. But no, no. With me, with Buffa, no.
It's not the
It's
prison
two
story, though.
sides. Yeah, it's not the prison. It's not the prison side of the coin. Okay, I just want to make that clear. You know what I mean?
If I see you in
So,
person, right, and I see your socks, I'm gonna be having some words with you, mate.
hey, you'll never see my socks. You'll never see. I would never be allowed to have my socks shown. I would
I'm gonna
never
make this the
ever
challenge when I
wear high
promote this
waters.
episode. I'm gonna be like, if you see his socks, you need to say something to him. Honestly, like that's cool, man. I learned something new. I'm in the prison
Hmm.
thing. I kind of guessed the prison thing, but yeah, but I didn't realize it was actually to cover socks,
Yeah,
jeans. But where
yeah,
now these days, like jeans, the tighter they are, the cooler you was. Again, things
yeah,
evolve,
man.
but it's all weird. I
It's
think I
a
kind of
reverse.
yeah, it's literally gone reverse. Like
Everything
I
in
tried to wear
reverse, man.
baggy-ish, but but
Hmm.
my style's weird, but it is what it is. I did kind of skip as well a little bit about your training.
Yeah.
Where is it that you actually did train to become a wrestler?
I originally trained at it was two places at first. It was in a boxing gym
Mm-hmm.
called Jerome's Boxing Gym. It's famous in New York City. It's in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like TV shows and films were filmed there. It's an actual boxing gym that was pretty good. Jerome's Boxing Gym. And from there, I moved on to the Doghouse, which was run by like Homicide, Low Key, Damn Off.
Mm.
Ezekiel Jackson trained there as well. A lot of guys came out of there, so that's where I first started really training to be a pro wrestler. Because when I was in a boxing gym,
Mm-hmm.
it was just me and my friends just wrestling,
Just
no,
honestly doing like probably swanton bombs and
yeah,
enziguri
and
kicks like 1 2 3 kid.
yeah, and in a boxing ring at that.
Can't imagine that being fun.
So, no, it wasn't. And for some we wound up getting kicked out because we was the only ones that were able to come in
Yeah,
to the boxing gym, pay $5 and rent the ring for like an hour.
yeah.
But some other kids found out about it
Ah, they
and
got in.
wound
They
up
got
getting
in
the
the
same
action as
deal.
well.
Yeah.
I
But these motherfuckers broke the boxing ring. I don't know how the hell you break a boxing ring.
I don't even know how.
How
Fuck knows what they were
how do
doing.
you break a boxing ring? So the wrestling being done there got cut. So we wound up having to find another place.
Yeah.
But one of my friends that I met, Devious, he's a wrestler as well in New York City. He trained at the House of Hardcore, the ECW school.
Yeah.
He did a little bit of training there, so he had prior experience. So
Hmm.
he brought us to the boxing gym. Then when we got kicked out, he found another school, which was the Doghouse. So he brought us there. So that's
Nice.
where we
And that's where
started
you'd actually begin like
training.
the professional training
Yeah,
as opposed to just
yeah,
boxing ring and just. Did you get blamed for that,
yeah,
by the way?
exactly.
The boxing ring being broke. Did you get blamed?
Oh, no, 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 no,
That's all
no,
right then. That's all
no, no, no.
right.
That that place changed so many times. Like,
Nah, that's cool. Just have to double check, man. I want to
yeah.
ask like China and just like being Japan and Asia, just wrestling there.
Hmm.
'Cause I don't think I actually really spoken to many guests because it doesn't not everyone
Yeah,
goes up there. But for you to do that, especially like at like awkward times when the world was just flipped upside
yeah.
down, we all know about that.
Hmm.
But I want to ask like one, what kind of persuaded you to go over there? And two, like
Oh,
what were
okay.
some of the first things you know straight away, like language barrier, the culture differences, but what things stood out to you?
Oh man, what made me want to go there? Of course, back to my childhood, being into like the Van Damme movies,
Yeah.
Bruce Lee, and always having a Chinese restaurant on every corner in New York City,
Yeah.
and always being around Asian people and being into the culture through the movies and stuff
Hmm.
like that, being a fan of Bruce Lee as well. I really like admired like the culture, the especially Japan, like, the strong style, samurai spirit, everyone's like a workhorse, hard workers, discipline, respect.
Hmm.
I love that. So Japan is the first place I wanted to go. Like I wanted to start my career in Japan, but there was no way in hell that was gonna happen, you know. So I wound up finding out about a tryout, an international tryout that 01 was running.
Yeah.
So I got in contact with the owner at the time, and I asked him if there would be another one because at the time I found out about it, it was already taking place. So he was like, "Yeah, there's going to be another camp next year." So he was like, "I'll put your names down on the list for next year." So I was like, "All right, cool, thank you." So what I did, which was smart, was I made a video package of me and my brother wrestling, and I sent it to him. He wound up watching it, and Masato Tanaka wound up being there watching it too. And
Nice.
he was like, "Oh wow!" He's
W
like,
legend.
"Wow!"
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh man, these guys are good." Like
Yeah.
right then and there, he was just like, "We want to bring you guys in. Like, we want you to still do the tryout.
Hmm.
You know, still do the training, all that, but you guys are in. You know what I mean?" And it was funny because Tanaka said, "Make sure you could bring the boombox, and if you can't get it here, we'll get you one." Because they already saw the vision that we had. They already saw the gimmick,
Yeah.
so they was like really trying to make it as big as possible when we debuted.
Mm.
So that was the first experience outside of the United States was Japan. So everything kicked off from there.
Yeah.
Honestly, as far as like within Asia, it all started with Japan because when I was with 01, they would send us to like different countries within Asia on tour. So they sent us to Myanmar. We did like a tour there. They sent us to South Korea, did a tour there. Sent us to Nepal, did a tour there. Oh man, we went so many different places, man. And I kept these connections with the promoters over there
Hmm.
and the wrestlers as well. So when I stopped working for 01 in I think 2016, I still had the relationships with the promoters from the other Asian countries. So they basically started bringing me over. And that's where I started to, really build a life out there,
Yeah.
because I was always in within Asia somewhere living like, and whether it be Hong Kong, Macau, man, lived in Taiwan for a little bit, I
But with
lived
all this experience
freaking
you're gaining, like
all
just
over the
it's gonna
place.
it's just gonna add more to your character in general, and just like that experience
Yeah.
can just you can't just
Hmm.
I just you can't just absorb it like that. Like for you to go out there, not many wrestlers get
Hmm.
to do that in their entire career, but for you to go back and
Yeah,
forth
man.
and live out there and experience
Yeah.
this new this
It
new
was,
culture, it's fantastic.
yeah, that's the thing. Like Japan, it wasn't really a culture shock
Mm.
to me because everything is like in English, you know?
Oh really?
Like they have like the street signs. It would
Hmm.
have the, the characters, then under it it'll be in English. So it was easy to get around in Japan, and most Japanese people can understand and speak English because they're taught it in school.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, so
We had to get taught
Japan
French.
wasn't. Yeah, we got to get. I mean, we got to get taught freaking Spanish. And it's like, what?
I know. I was like, I'm not gonna learn. I'm not gonna use that side school. No, he needs. I don't care. Just give me the
Yeah,
F. Give me
like,
the F. Just help me
like,
out.
oh man, I was like, what's the
Honestly,
point? I could learn Spanish from my cousin. I'm half Spanish. I can learn it from
really?
freaking,
Oh, cool, man.
yeah. So it's like, whatever, man.
That's cool, man. Is there anything you can't do? Like,
Hey, man, man, well, I can't speak Chinese.
very, very hard language to learn. It's because my
Yeah,
brother's
man.
fiance, she's Chinese, and he's
Hmm.
trying. I think he knows the basic stuff, but
Yeah,
they've been going up for years, and he still struggles learning it. So fair play to him.
yeah, because it's so different, man.
Yeah,
Like even like you go to Hong Kong, the Mandarin is man,
takes a
it's
long
just
time.
it's so much. I just
Mhm.
like I gave up. Like my wife could speak it, write it, understand it. She could speak like four different languages. I'm like, yeah. Like
What she say?
I
What you
learned
say?
a good bit of
Just go to her.
Japanese. Yeah, I'm just like, yo, the only one I tried to learn really was Japanese because I was living there.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that.
And it was a little bit easier to pick up too.
Mhm.
But Chinese, Mandarin, man, I was just like, you know what?
I love it here, but I'm just gonna like accept that I can't learn this.
Yeah, man.
It's like, it's
I
not me
use
being
Google
disrespectful, but it's
Translate.
like, would you rather me like
Mhm.
butcher your language or just accept that
Yeah,
I can't speak this?
yeah. I was just like, man, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and most of the people like I was around could like speak like
Mm.
or understand English. Like the Chinese people I was around, they can understand a little bit.
Mm.
It wasn't much of an issue. You know, if I wasn't with my wife or like somebody that could speak English and Chinese.
Yeah. No, that's a blessing, though,
Uh,
man. But there's one thing
yeah.
that also stands out about you. Your theme song.
Mm,
Stevie Wonder, Part-Time Lover. Fantastic
yeah.
song. Who doesn't love Stevie Wonder? If they don't, they're lying. If they say they genuinely don't like him, I don't trust them. But yeah, like I'm not
Yeah,
saying the
man.
bad way. I think it's a fucking awesome one. But I just want to know, what was
Yeah.
your inspiration for it being your theme song?
Honestly, man, I owe a lot to Japan because for one, that was first place that took me in
Hmm.
outside of my own country. And that's where the Buffa name came from
Yeah.
and the theme song. That wasn't my idea.
Oh,
That
okay, fair
was
enough. So you can't take credit for it
that
then.
yeah, that I wish I could, but I'm still taking credit for it. But
Fair play.
I would show respect to I would give credit to where credit is due, and that's to the owner at
Yeah.
the time of 01, Nakamura, my mentor. He's the one who saw me and like invested in me
Hmm.
and gave me and my brother a shot. And me a shot as a singles where my brother stopped wrestling. So he really invested in me. And like I said, when they saw that video at the time, we was using LL Cool J I'm Bad.
Yeah.
We was using that as a theme song. So he was like, we have something different. So I'm like, why can't we use this one? You say, no, no, no. I have something better. And I'm like,
It just
at
works
the
though,
time.
man. You make it work,
But
honestly.
that's the thing. You go from I'm bad to Stevie Wonder. I'm going from hip hop
Yeah.
to
R&B,
so
just
I'm
like
like, I'm
never.
just like, we gotta switch everything. I'm like,
Yeah.
and we coming out with the boombox, and I'm just like, I'm like, all right. He's like, no. He's like, trust me, it's gonna be big for you
Yeah.
guys. So I'm just like, okay, all right. So and the name Buffa, they
What I was going to ask
changed
about it.
that
I
to
love the name. It's a cool name. I'm not just brown nosing because I'm on here, but I
that's
genuinely, it's a cool
that's
name.
that's another story.
Hello there. I've got a special announcement for my next guest.
My name is Harrison Neal. I'm the freshest, the flyest, finest guest on the What You Call It podcast.
You heard. As you were saying about the origin of your name,
Yeah.
said there's quite an interesting story. I think it's a really cool name, by the way. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, man. The name, I wasn't really, I didn't like it at first. I've accepted it, of course,
Yeah.
but it only changed because my brother couldn't make the first tour
Hmm.
as expected because his second son was born early. So we were supposed to only go for like a tournament. So we was only gonna be there for like I think like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And he was gonna be back and be able to, be there for the birth. So son was born early. So he's like, man, it was his first son actually. So he's like, you know what? I want to, but I can't. Like, I want to at least be there, for the first one. So he was like, just go alone, and I'll come. I'll come maybe later that year or next year. So I was like, damn. I almost didn't want to go, honestly, because I didn't want to do it without him. And
Yeah.
I had been a tag team wrestler up to like this is like 2011, so it was like 10 years into our career. So I was like, oh man, to go out there as singles, I was like, all right, whatever, let me do it. So I went out there with all this pressure on me, man. And I was just like, ah, man. So it was another guy that was going out there too at the time, who was a friend of mine, and he was doing like he wasn't doing a Samoan gimmick, but like he was trained by the Wild Samoans.
Yeah.
So he was linked to the family, and that's like a place that gave me and my brother our first start too, WXW with the Wild Samoans
Really?
back in
That's awesome.
2003.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go further back. But
That's cool.
I think Alpha Junior was supposed to go to 0-1 at one point. So he was supposed to team up with him, and he was supposed to be like called the New Samoans. So I don't think the deal went through with Alpha Junior. So the other guy, Havoc, he
Hmm.
wound up going. So being that I was supposed to come in as a tag wrestler, and
Yeah.
he was supposed to come in as a tag wrestler, they said, hey, they know each other. Let's put them together. So for a short while during that first tour, I was part of a team called the New Samoans, Buffa and Zuffa. Now, my mentor asked me, he said, you could choose either Buffa or Zuffa. He was like,
Flip a
which one
coin.
you want? At first, I was gonna go for Zuffa.
Yeah.
He wanted me to go for Zuffa because of the MMA company.
Yeah.
Because 0-1 was like linked with K1.
Hmm.
So he's like, when people hear the name, I want them to think like get excited,
Yeah. Yeah.
to think that like there's some
H5 and
connection.
has a sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Because he was trying to get me as over as possible, but I was like, nah, I'll take Buffa. I'll go by Buffa. So that's why my name
But it has
became
stuck
Buffa.
though. Like I love that. Like
Yeah, yeah,
these
yeah.
names have just the theme song as you mentioned in the
Hmm.
name kind of just been given to you to promote,
Yeah.
but like you've embraced it, you've
Hmm.
made it work. I mean, like parts of
I
Lost,
had to,
stuck in
man.
my head now, man.
I had to. Like everything, like what he said, it was on the money because when I
Hmm.
debuted, once that music hit, the fans started clapping.
Yeah.
Because he told me, he said, this song is huge in
Yeah.
Japan. He said, the fans are going to love it. So
For them
I
to give
didn't
you
know
that reaction
how.
as well, especially like
Yeah.
Japanese fans, they're quite respectful, aren't they? Quite quiet,
Oh,
very,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when you
Hmm.
watch like New
Hmm.
Japan or whatever, and they're very quiet but
Yeah.
appreciate what they see. But
Yeah.
for them to be like,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
sick, man.
Yeah, man. They started their clapping. I didn't know how I was going to come out. I didn't know how I was going to do my entrance.
Hmm.
But I just went with it, man. I was like, oh shit, this is working. So I'm like, I'm getting the hype too. I'm doing the clap
Yeah.
too. I used to not do that stuff. I used to not do any of this stuff. Like if you look back at some of my old stuff, my entrance was I would be rapping on the way
Mm.
to the ring because my brother used to rap and he used to do our theme song. So we would be rapping our theme song to the ring, you know. I used to not come out and be like, I used to think that was too. I used to think. I used to think it was too baby face, like.
Yeah.
But it just became me, man. Like,
But you are such a likable character. I mean, in general, like speaking, you know, quite a likable person.
yeah,
But as you have, I think we mentioned like some of the countries you've been in. But is there any other countries that you would like to visit and wrestle?
oh yeah, man. Well, is there? Where haven't I been? I would like to
Do we just
honestly. I
spin
would
a
like
globe
to.
and just like, yep, it's been a tick.
Yeah. Nah, there's places I haven't been for sure, but I would say I would like to give Mexico another shot
Hmm.
because I went to Mexico. I lived in Mexico for about a month,
Yeah.
and this was kind of like a last minute thing. And I went in like December, so like a lot of the shows were already booked up. So, it was hard to like get work, So I wound up just saying, what, timing is off. So I wound up coming back home. Then I wound up going to China. So that's how that worked out. But I would like to give Mexico another try, as well as Canada.
Yeah.
I like to get up to Canada. I like to go to Ireland.
Not far from
So
there. Not too far at the moment.
yeah, I would like to go everywhere, man. Italy,
Yeah.
all over Europe. I would like to go all over Europe, honestly, man. It's no place.
It's gonna happen, man. Like,
I
you still got
yeah.
plenty of time, mate. You still got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, there's no place I don't want to go, man. Honestly, I want to go everywhere.
Yeah. No, I get that. I like that attitude still. You don't want to just like, oh, I'll be here, I'm happy, I just want to do everything.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
yeah. I hate staying still, man. I want to
Yeah.
travel, man.
No, that's sick, man. That's sick. One last question. It's a
Yeah,
fun question, but I'm gonna
sure.
mix this up. Normally, I'd ask if you could
Yeah.
pick 3 dream dinner guests for your dream party, but I'm gonna mix this up for you. If
Mm.
you can pick 3 songs to play on your boombox, what songs would you pick? And you can't pick Stevie Wonder song. To be fair, I know you didn't pick it, but if that was an easy answer, but what songs would you pick? If you can give a reason as to why you want them as well, that would be fine. But it's your boombox, man. But 3 songs only.
3 songs only. Damn,
First
that's
time
a
I ever asked that
tough
question,
one,
but
man.
I thought I'd mix it and like good way to end it. But I thought
Yeah,
I'd add
yeah,
that
yeah.
into
For the boombox, it makes sense. Yeah, I feel that because I don't just play anything. I wouldn't play anything off it, that's for sure. But oh man, I love so many different
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because
different
like it's just
songs.
like the songs that
It's
depends what mood you're
hard,
in, who
man.
you're with, what you're doing. I know. I'll kind of put you on the spot, but just I don't know.
Yeah. I'll say this because I'm sure somebody's probably going to expect something like random, like, oh wow, I wouldn't expect him to pick
Yeah.
that. I'll say this: I'm big into metal. I'm big into rock. I love rock, metal, of
Hmm.
course, hip hop. But a lot of people wouldn't think I would be into like metal and rock. But yeah, I am.
No,
I'm
man,
into like
I love a bit of rock.
freaking Slipknot. You know what
Saw
I
them before the
mean?
pandemic ended. Really good, but I made
Corn.
the mistake of seeing them seated as opposed to being standing,
Yeah,
and I regret that massively. While I enjoyed it, obviously seeing people in the mosh
yeah,
pit stuff, I'm just like, "Aw."
yeah. I will say this. You wouldn't be surprised to hear some metal coming out of the boombox. Some metal, some
It's-
rock and roll. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You would I tell you,
it's a
you
hard
would
one.
hear some of
I
that
think
coming
that's.
out
I
of it.
mean, while I think it's a good question, I think it's quite a hard one to get an answer very like simplified. I think because so many songs running through your head. Oh wait, no, this one,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this one.
Oh yeah.
If I go
Sometimes
back to
I
the original question,
yeah.
then the original one, how
Mm.
I end the show. I'll ask the famous one. If you could pick 3 dream dinner guests for your dream party, you're the host. It can be fictional, non-fictional, wrestling, whatever. You can pick even a family member. It's up to you, mate. You're the host. 3 guests. Go.
Host 3 guests. Okay. I'll pick something from my childhood. So I would say I would be chilling with Raphael from the Ninja Turtles.
Nice. That's a cricket answer.
I would pick
Thinking outside the box. I
Raphael.
love
Let's
it.
see.
For the future guest,
Yeah.
you can think outside the box. Continue.
Oh, man,
Raphael.
this is tough, man. This is tough. Raphael. Let me get a little older and pick somebody who I
Well,
grew
you
up
got to pick
liking.
Van Damme because you mentioned him a little bit.
I was gonna pick Van Damme, but I
But
was
I think
like,
he'd
I
be a
already
miserable
mentioned.
guest.
Yeah, then I thought about that too, and I was like, I don't know if I would want to chill with him. He
Yeah,
seems cool in his videos, but
yeah.
I'm kind of like, eh. So let me see, Raphael. I gotta have the mood. If it's a dinner, then the mood is gonna be. It's got to be a certain way. So I pick Raphael because he likes pizza. So he'd be eating like pepperoni pizza or something.
Nice, nice,
I will have X-Pac
nice.
like during his X-Pac DX days,
Yeah,
and
it would turn a bit messy, but yeah, it'd be worth it.
I mean X-Pac during the DX days, not the stuff that happened after.
Yeah,
You know,
That was not his best
you know.
moments. Yeah,
So, and I'm sure he would agree.
100%.
And for the third, damn, it's got to be something outside of the box. So let me pick. Maybe.
Corey Taylor, Slipknot.
I was thinking something rock, but I know like X-Pac is into like rock and all that, so we
Yeah.
could mix and listen to hip hop and some
Well,
rock.
it looks. I've
He
got a
would be
cracker.
into
Do you
that.
remember what's it, the theme song for X
Yeah,
Factor?
the X Factor. Yeah.
I've got a soft spot for it though. It's so bad. I love it.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't heard it, by the way,
It's freaking
YouTube after this
terrible.
episode, X Factor theme song 2001, like incredible Albert.
Yeah.
Chef kiss. But yeah, that's so continue.
And I say for the third, that's a tough one too. So I'm just gonna make it easier, and I'm gonna say it's gonna have to be my brother, because without
Nice,
him, none of this would have started.
nice. No, that's a good
And
answer. That's
those
fine.
those
That's
and those
cool,
those
man. Mate, it's your
those are two
meal.
of our
It's your
favorites.
party. You're hosting it. I mean,
Yeah,
why not have your brother? Someone that you've
yeah.
wrestled with, and your,
Hmm.
your own blood. So you've got your brother, Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and X-Pac.
Yes,
Awesome,
sir.
awesome.
We gonna get smoked out. It's gonna be a high party.
Windows
Munchies
open.
on deck.
Would I encourage it? No.
Hey.
Nah, mate, I might have to tag along this fight then. But yeah, no. If
Oh man.
you're not too far. You're on Glasgow. I can get the train up there. But yeah,
True.
so sorry. Is there anything you'd like to promote or anything you want to say as we are now at the end of the interview?
Oh man, I gotta plug the socials,
Mm-hmm.
Buffa AO. Well, Buffa underscore AO. That's BUFFA underscore double A double Y. No, it's double AY triple O. Double AY triple O. And it's the same on like everything, like
That makes it
Twitter,
a little bit easier for
Facebook.
me because I'll put that in the description below. Just say follow him on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, maybe. It's maybe. I'm not on
It's
TikTok
crazy.
personally.
I work for TikTok in China doing voiceover work
Really?
for their ads. Yeah,
Oh
that's what
wow.
I did before I came here. I
Oh
was a
bloody hell, that's
voiceover
awesome.
actor for TikTok ads. Yeah, I've done a lot, man. I have my own business in
Yeah.
China. We didn't even get into that, but
Man, there is room
that's
for
for
part
another
two.
time.
Honestly, there is
Yeah,
room for part two. Like I'm not just saying I've had
yeah.
one or two guests back before, but I think there
Hmm.
is just there's so much
But
we can talk about. ICW, tag team your brother,
oh yeah,
TikTok,
for sure.
acting, mate.
Mhm.
We have to make this happen because I've
But
fucking
this,
enjoyed this interview.
but this one covers all of that, so we could dig deeper for
Yeah.
the next one. But yeah,
100%.
I don't have it. I don't have a TikTok because TikTok China and TikTok everywhere else is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't even like bother with TikTok. So
No, that's
I don't
fair,
have
man.
one either. You know what I
No,
mean?
I don't. People still try and tell me to get onto it, but I'm not that fast. I don't really care. But Buffa, thank you so much for coming on.
Nah,
I
thanks for
hope you
having me,
enjoy.
man.
Mate, it's been an absolute blessing. Honestly, really enjoyed it. I've genuinely cracked up. Fucking quality episode. But I hope you
Yeah.
enjoy the rest of your time in
Oh yes,
Scotland.
sir.
And if you're going out
Yes, thank
outside
you.
Scotland, mate, honestly, hope it's fun for you, bruv, as you like
Hope
to
so too. Oh
say. Going
yes,
back to the
bruv.
beginning,
Of course, bruv. You know what I
mate.
mean?
Blessing. For everyone that
Thank
has
you.
listened to this episode, thank you. If you can like this video, subscribe to this account. If you can follow my man Buffa and the
Yo.
Boombox. And if you can
Yes,
also
sir.
follow me on my social media, which you can find on the handles and description below, that would be fantastic. There will probably be a part 2 because I think it's going to happen. But for now, everyone, I hope you all have a brilliant, brilliant weekend. Take care. Hello there. I've got a special announcement from my next guest.
Hi there, my name is Camille Hansen, and I'm going to be appearing on the What Do You Call It podcast. So watch it.
Not Camille Barnes. Listen to the episode, you'll get what I mean. Yeah.
Definitely not.